What is the legal key to scaling, growing, and properly protecting your amazing business idea? Let's find out in this week's episode. Hey there, welcome to the Conscious Counsel podcast. I'm so happy that you're joining me today. It's me, Corey Sterling, the lead lawyer and founder of Conscious Counsel. As always, the promise with this podcast is that I'm going to help share information that's going to help you protect and grow your wellness business with both clarity and confidence. That's the name of the game. I want you to understand what's happening in the law and how the law applies to health and wellness entrepreneurs and what information it is that you need to know. This week, I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about a story I went through that I'm going through with one of my clients who came up with a really cool method / process that they want to legally protect so that they can scale and that they can grow their business. And the reason why this matters so much is I often see super talented entrepreneurs in the health and wellness space who have a great idea, who have done something amazing and who have gotten awesome results working with themselves or doing something themselves. And they're like, holy smokes, the whole world could definitely benefit by being able to do this thing. How do I do it properly? And it's so interesting because I always catch them at this moment where they're like, okay, I've done the hard part of figuring out an amazing method, a cool process, a way to heal myself, a way to make myself healthier. And now I want to share with the world. And for a lot of people, this is mission and purpose driven in the sense that they're like, holy smokes, I was put on the earth to grow this and share this with as many people as possible and have this support my life and build a community around this and all of these wonderful things. And that's really the hard part. And the law is not such a hard part of it in the sense that when you work with industry-specific lawyers who understand the issues and who have done it many times before, it's very simple. And so the main concepts that I want to talk about today are, firstly, licensing. And licensing essentially, so I'm going to talk about licensing, I'm going to talk about trademark, I'm going to talk about copyright, and I'm going to talk about how all those things work together, and then I'm going to share a story of what I'm going through with one of my clients. So the whole thing with intellectual property is the protection of ideas. And obviously, if you come up with an idea, you want to be able to protect it. And the law wants to reward the person who came up with the specific idea. And they want to give you certain rights that you can use and that you can leverage when you are putting your idea out into the world. Obviously, if these rules did not exist or the laws did not exist, everyone could just steal everything from everyone and there would be complete chaos. So what society and the judicial system has contemplated is, why don't we come up with a framework that will allow people to have their ideas, be rewarded for their ideas, protect their ideas, and have rights around their ideas. So the first thing that we'll talk about, I'll just talk about trademarks and copyright really quickly because I know I've already spoken about them on the podcast. In terms of trademarks, registering a trademark is protecting your logo or a series of words that gives you exclusive rights. So you come up with a method, the method has a name. You come up with a method, the method has a logo. Whatever it is, you have a business name, you have your brand, whatever it is, there's either a word or a series of words or a logo that you want everyone in the world to know when they see that logo or when they see those words, they know that it's connected to you and your business. Now, if these laws did not exist, then anyone could just copy anyone and we wouldn't know if you're buying a Nike shirt, we wouldn't know if it's actually from Nike or if it's just from another company. So the idea with trademark is you get exclusive use, which means you're the only one who's allowed to use that mark. You have enforceable rights, which means you can stop other people from using it if they're copying you or misleading the public. And thirdly, by registering a trademark, you avoid a situation where someone can force you to stop using your mark or your logo. Now, this happens, and the thing to understand with trademarks is that it's a game of registration. So it's always a race to the register, and whoever registers first will have better legal priority or better legal position. And that's why it's very important to register your trademark. The second thing I want to talk about is just copyright, which is the protection of the artistic work that you create. So let's say you've made a teacher training, you write a manual, or you write I don't think a song is really relevant to our community, but a song is a classic use of what copyright exists. When you have photos or videos, there's copyright that exists in that. And copyright basically protects the artistic ideas. And in this context, usually it's in the form of something written, a manual, a process, a way of doing things in a particular way. There's also patents, which work more for a new invention or something brand new that's created. But in the health and wellness space, unless it's a product, it's much more difficult to get a patent. And more typically, you'll see a combination of licensing and copyright. So why it's important to register your copyright is to basically say to the world, hey, I wrote this thing. This is the content. I've registered the copyright. I've gotten a certificate. And if there's any questions about someone copying me, I can show that on this particular date, I was the person who put this out and that it was registered and it's unequivocal that I'm the owner and these ideas are mine. Now, the licensing agreement is the third piece to it, which is so important because when you register the trademark and you register the copyright, now you have more tangible legal rights where it's not something like, oh, I used this first or I did this. You can objectively show on a register, I registered this logo or these words or this idea or this manual or this training process on this particular date. Therefore, I have the best priority. And now once you have that formalized and you have a trademark registration number or a copyright certificate number, now you can say to other people, hey, I'm going to let you use this. I'm going to license out the use of my intellectual property, which means I'm going to let you use it, but I'm going to retain ownership. And we're going to agree on what it looks like for you to use it. Sometimes that you'll see, like if you have a coach who runs an online course or a teacher who runs a teacher training, I'm going to let you use the materials. I remain the owner. You're going to pay me a certain amount. Maybe you pay me each year to continue to use them. Maybe you're only allowed to use it for personal use and not for commercial purpose, and you can't benefit or sell it or share it with any third party. Whatever it is, you always get to decide the rules. And the whole point is, it doesn't really matter how you license out the materials. What really matters is that you have a licensing agreement, because then if someone is sharing it or copying it or doing anything, your legal position is so strong because you've registered the trademark or the copyright, you have the licensing agreement that set out the expectations for the relationship. And now if someone breaks or does not honor those expectations or does something that's outside of what was agreed upon in the agreement, then you can be like, boom, you're finished. Give this back, plus you're paying penalties, plus you're paying legal fees, plus whatever it is that you want from that person. But again, if you don't have the proper legal structure in place, you're not able to do that with not nearly as much ease or flow or certainty of the legal outcome of the situation. And so the cool story that I went through last week with my client has an amazing idea, super, super cool. I see this with health coaches a lot. This person has totally cured themselves and transformed their body using a very, very unique technique that they now want to scale and share with other people and start running teacher trainings for. And so for me, it was just super fun. The first thing, the client signed up as a member. Now we have unlimited time to work together and support, and they also get discounted prices for future services. And we just went through and I was like, cool, walk me through the process. Tell me what your goal is in 3 months. What's your goal in 3 years? How do we set this up properly? And we were able to take care of all of it. We were able to register the trademark, register the copyright, start drafting a licensing agreement. And now this client is able to go into the world, share their gift, and do so with confidence of knowing that they can, whatever way they want to take it, they can take it because legally they're protected. They've secured the intellectual property. They have the confidence to put it out there. Another thing that I always see as a lawyer when it comes to IP stuff is clients don't feel safe to really put themselves or their ideas out there because they're afraid they're going to lose it. And that breaks my heart. That actually makes me super sad because it doesn't have to be that way. If you have the correct legal foundation in place, you can do anything. You can grow it in any way. You know, this person's a member. If someone copies it, if something happens, shoot me an email. I've done this for years. I know exactly how to navigate the decision, support you. And for me, it's the coolest feeling is being able to support amazing people who are bringing their gifts into the world, sharing their light and making people healthier. And the fact that our law firm gets to provide the support for them to do that and the confidence to actually make their dreams a reality means everything to me. So in summary for this episode, talked a little bit about the key to scaling properly is securing your intellectual property, I explained a little bit what a trademark is, protection of a logo, word, series of words, exclusive use, enforceable rights, preventing someone from stopping you from using it, registering a copyright, the protection of the artistic work itself, and then the licensing agreement, which outlines the terms of how you let other people use your intellectual property while retaining ownership over it and setting the terms of the relationship. And I shared a super heartwarming, awesome story about my client who is crushing it and is on the way to absolutely living the dream. So I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that this information was helpful. If you enjoyed the episode, feel free to share it with anyone who you think that this might help, and click subscribe to the Conscious Counsel podcast. And make sure that whatever you do, you are working with a lawyer who loves you. Peace. Have a wonderful week.